Rick Marks here, how you guys going? Another brilliant day. I wanted to talk, we're looking at the mindset book, chuck a link in the description for you guys. Wanting to look at, in the first, chapter, and it's looking at the mindsets, looking at all the different perspectives, and the componentry within it. They look at Christopher Reeve, and in 1995, he had an accident straight from the horse, and it was completely paralyzed below the neck, and medical science had said he will never be able to walk again, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Like, worst case, you're done for, you just be a mind. He didn't let that rule him, and he worked hard, and then they said in the later 5 years, like the 5 years following that, he started to regain movement because he was persistent. And first he got his hands and his arms and his legs and his torso. He was far from cured, but brain scans were showing that he was actually regaining the messages. He was reconnecting the pathways. And I guess from this, it helps us to understand with the growth mindset, anything's possible if you don't just shut it down. And I think this relates more back to when I've talked about like the childlike thinking. Be whatever you want to be. Think whatever you want to, like, if you could be anything tomorrow that you could, what would it be and why? And when you realize and you're thinking about that, you then start to understand anything is possible. You can be smarter. You can turn right, not left. But often our loved ones, people around us, our friends, people we think that love us, they love us, don't get me wrong. However, they want us to play it safe because they don't want to see us hurt. That's why they say, don't start that business, don't go there, don't travel the world. Just think about how much it would cost. What happens if you get sick over in a country that doesn't have a good medical, like all the worst cases that could possibly happen. Now, don't get me wrong, they all could possibly happen, all those worst case scenarios. But do you stop living because of that? And this is like that living in cotton, wrapped up in cotton wool. Life is meant to be lived. It's an adventure. That's how I see it anyway. If you're living with these fears of all the things that could go wrong, and I see it with my kids, I try to give them as much rope as I possibly can so they can learn and explore without me instilling on them my own insecurities, my own fears, my own views, and allow them to make some mistakes. Because I think the biggest problem, societorial, if that is even a word, I've used a number of times, but calling it a word, if as a society we make failure a bad thing, and yet you talk to any major entrepreneur, business owner, failure is often the doorway to their flight. And I think that when we start to realize that without the failure we won't get flight, we either churn down that runway and go back into the safe hangar and rather than take flight, or we take the risk and launch, and we can go anywhere. We can do anything. And I think when you start to talk to a lot of the entrepreneurs and business owners that have accumulated businesses and built businesses over the substantial period of time, the more that they take on, you learn to evaluate risk. And that is no different to anyone. We all look at things and we evaluate the risk, and we either don't do it because it's classified too risky by our measure, or we give it a try. But I feel like often if there is a hesitation there and we still give it a try, we won't give it our all, because there's a part of us, even if it's a 1%, that knows that it will fail. When you talk to entrepreneurs, business owners and stuff, they go all in. There's no failure. Don't focus on that one tree in the paddock, because you'll hit it. because you're focused on it. Don't focus on that potential. Everything has the potential to fail. Your car could break down tomorrow, for all you know. Your house could catch on fire because, you know, an electrical fault. Do we live in fear? Do we bunker down because of all these potential things, or do we have to measure the risk and we go, yep, those are all possible things that could play out in my world, but I'm going to look at the positives. I'm going to look at things and kind of just give it my all. Like, I'm going to give my job my all. I'm going to give my family my all. I'm going to go all in. That could happen, but don't focus on it. Being aware versus being focused are very different. So yes, think about where you're putting it, because I guarantee you Christopher Reeve was not thinking about this failure. There was no room for failure. He was going to get better. 100% going to get better. He was going to work it out. He was going to make it. It was his life's goal, really. What else has he got? And that's how he saw it. That's, I think, what we can take away from that story, is that if you're giving it everything you've got, like, you know, there's no other option. So you've got to make it work. How else do you strategize that out? I want to wrap it up there. Like I said, I will chuck a link to this book in the description. Great book. I'm enjoying it so far. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, like and subscribe. See you tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Bye for now.